What's going on, everybody? My name is Johann Castro, and welcome to this edition of Afterthoughts, recapping what, in my opinion, is the biggest fight the UFC has put on in 2019. Robert Whittaker and Israel Adesanya fought for the middleweight title. I thought the hype behind this fight was it was unreal, and it was worth it. I call this the biggest middleweight fight of all time in terms of the impact it was going to have, regardless of who won. If Whittaker won, it was going to be like Australia was going to be put on the map more for MMA. He was going to become an even bigger star in that region, if not a star over here as well. And, and I thought he was really going to blow up with a win. But Adesanya, oh my God. I mean, I underestimated just how much the casual fan base was really going to buy into this fight. I knew Adesanya was a guy the UFC was pushing. I mean, it's as obvious as when he fought Marvin Vettori and he was on the main card for that fight. He headlined the Ultimate Fighter finale against Brad Tavares, of all people, in his third UFC fight. So it was obviously the UFC's been pushing this guy for a while, but I mean, I really underestimated just the impact it was going to have on that fight alone. I thought it was going to be, well, he's going to, if he beats Whittaker, and then fights Acosta, and then maybe gets a fight with John Jones, he's going to explode. No, he's already exploding. People are saying he's on this Conor McGregor level already. I don't see that. I don't even know if anyone's going to hit that level again. I'd say he's more on that Nate Diaz level, though, where he's now a guy that every time he fights, it's 500,000 pay-per-view buys easily. Adesanya, he's special. The talent is... It's unreal what he can do. Robert Whittaker, we've never seen Whittaker outclassed like that. Even when he fought Wonder Boy, when he got knocked out in the first round, we have never seen him get just pieced up on counterattacks like that. It happened, after that knockdown late in the first round, it was all Adesanya. That first round, had it not been for the knockdown, I think Whittaker would have won that round more than likely. That knockdown changed everything. Adesanya he took control after, once the second round started. It was all Adesanya. Whittaker couldn't touch him. Every shot, Whittaker kept blitzing in, could not land on Adesanya. Adesanya kept landing these crisp counterattacks and just piecing the champ up. And a lot of us underestimated, myself included, we underestimated what Adesanya was going to be able to do against somebody strong and powerful like Robert Whittaker. We saw him against Gastelum. We saw him get tested against Gastelum. We figured, well, if Gastelum tested him that way, Whittaker's going to piece him up. Adesanya gave one of the cleanest championship performances I've ever seen. I mean, that, in my opinion, rivals Holloway Ortega in terms of just how sharp he looked in that fight. He looked comfortable. He said in the lead up, I want to have fun in this fight. I don't want to, in the Gastelum fight, I was too worried about what was going to happen. He wanted to go out and have fun in that fight. The entrance, he had a breakdancing entrance. We've never seen that before. He looked as comfortable and as cool as any fighter in any championship performance, and he just put on one of the most clean performances ever. He's going to be a huge star. He really is. He's already in that top 5. I think he's on the level of John Jones in terms of popularity right now. And I think him and Paulo Costa, when they fight, is going to be absolutely insane. I think that, you get two young undefeated guys, both good-looking, charismatic on the mic. They both talk a lot of, they talk a lot of smack. I think it's, I mean, they need to do that fight either in Brazil or in New Zealand. Get a big crowd for that fight. The hype behind that fight's going to be nuts. And I think it's just going to be fantastic. I think middleweight is really fun right now. And I think Adesanya, we look at what Anderson Silva did in middleweight, and he's the middleweight GOAT. There's no disputing that. He defended the title 10 times, for God's sake. But Adesanya, in this era of mixed martial arts, if he can string together 2 or 3 more wins, he's going to be right. He's going to hit legendary status, and we're going to start debating whether or not he's the GOAT of middleweight, which is crazy considering what Anderson Silva has done in that weight class. I think Israel Adesanya, he really is a special talent, and he's starting to make that ascent like Conor McGregor. And again, I don't know if he'll ever hit that echelon, but he's become a mainstream star, and I think he's a lot closer to legendary status than we may think he is. And if he goes up and fights John Jones and is somehow able to beat the unbeatable, then holy shit. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen for this kid after that? He's gonna take off. It's gonna be supernova. And it's so crazy that this guy made his debut a little over a year ago, and he's already hitting these strides. It's incredible. As for Robert Whittaker, people are gonna give him, people are gonna criticize him. They're gonna say, well, his championship reign, he didn't defend the title and this and that. The guy beat Yoel Romero twice. For my money, he's still pound for pound top 15. I think he ran into a stylistic problem. A lot of us underestimated what Adesanya brought to the table. Whittaker, in my opinion, could beat 98% of the middleweights on the roster still. He might even be able to beat Adesanya with some adjustments, but it's one of those things where he's still there. And I think whoever he fights next, I feel sorry for him. I think he's going to beat him down. Whether it be Cannonier, whether it be the Gastelum Till winner, whoever it is, I think they're in for a long night. I think Robert Whittaker is still one of the best in the world. He's still young. We can't take anything away from Whittaker. We're going to speak briefly on IAQUINTA Hooker. There really wasn't much to talk about outside that main event, but IAQUINTA Hooker, Dan Hooker looks for real. I mean, I think he matches up well with a lot of the top 15, or a lot of the top 10, not even the top 15. Justin Gaethje, Paul Felder, Donald Cerrone. Off the top of my head, those are three guys I think he beats if he fights. Yeah, even the immortal Justin Gaethje, who everyone is really high on right now. I think he gives Tony Ferguson matchup problems now. Again, Tony needs to fight for the title. But Dan Hooker, the way he attacks, his crisp striking, I think he gives Tony Ferguson problems if they fight. And that's saying a lot if you know me and you know how much I respect Tony Ferguson. And as for Al IAQUINTA, I just think he's now in that gatekeeper status. We take a little bit away from him because of the loss, but I think he's still a firm top 15 guy. He's in that gatekeeper role. He's never going to hit that top 10 again, I think, unless he gets some really impressive wins moving forward. But I think IAQUINTA is still a firm top 15 guy, but he's a gatekeeper now, and it's kind of set in stone. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this edition of Afterthoughts. My name is Johann Castro, and I will see you next time. UFC 243 was insane. Can't wait to see what the promotion has going forward. See you guys next time. Peace out. Have fun.